My evening began like many others, sitting in migration minding my own business. I was about 65% grown when I found myself in the sights of an adult carno. Startled and a little bit panicked, I fought back. Realizing I couldn't stun him with my attacks at my current size, and more wounded than I'd like to admit, I fled into the mock sanctuary. After weaving in and through the thick foliage, I assumed that I'd lost him. However, he suddenly appeared in the corner of my screen once more. Unsure how he'd spotted me in the dark and the rain with his awful night vision, but not really suspicious yet, I began to flee again. This time, I weaved in and out of the foliage much longer, waiting until my bleeding stopped before I left, and watching my back carefully in case he was tracking me. Just when I decided I was probably safe, though, there he was again. The casual way he was strolling after me, no real interest in running to keep me in sight, as if he knew exactly where I was going, was not great. Luckily, though, server restart hit and I was safe. Or so I thought. I waited a good 15 minutes or so to log back in, allowing the Carno time to log in, decide I was not coming back, and leave. Severely injured and lower on stamina than I'd like, I set out in search of a safe spot where I could lay down and heal. I opted for the side of a cliff with just enough of a step up that jumping would be necessary to reach me reliably, and I waited. After I'd been sitting for some time, though, from a direction where he couldn't possibly have seen me, came the Carno. And now I really am suspicious. This guy has got to be using some form of ESP to have walked right to me from the complete opposite direction. And with literally nothing around me to have drawn him this deep into the forest, it's extremely unlikely that he just stumbled across me like this. I couldn't do much but stand my ground and beat him back if he got too close. By now, at least I've grown enough to be able to stun him with my tail slam, and that seems to at least give him some pause. In the distance, I can hear another Tenno player, and I start calling out to them in hopes of a herd arriving to help me out of this sticky situation. As they get closer, though, He wanders off into the forest in their direction, and I hope that this will be the end of it. Little do I know, he quickly dispatches the other Tenno and is waiting some distance away, watching in my general direction, hoping for me to get down from my safe spot so he can have another go. By this point, the other Tenno has reported a speed hacking Carno on the server, and now I'm really concerned. I wait as long as I possibly can, until I'm fully healed and my food and water are getting dangerously low, before climbing down and making my way toward the river. Side note, at the current time, replays are turned on official servers. If you are ever attacked by a hacker, or you hear about one in your area, I highly recommend turning on replays with F2 and recording the encounter. You can get their name and Steam ID from the replay in order to more effectively report them to the admins. He returns, this time feeling the need to turn on the speed rather than just the ESP. I've grown since his initial attack, and like all hackers, dude is a skill issue and refuses to fight fair because he might lose. In typical hacker fashion, once the hacks are turned on, he can't hit the broadside of a barn, and this buys me time to find what I need. Another cliff, even more ideal this time, because there's a nice little outcropping so he can't approach me without risking getting stuck, getting slapped, or falling to his death due to his ridiculous speed. Eventually, he gives up and backs off. In the replay, he's seen sitting around the corner below a cliff, watching where I was, getting up when he sees me moving with his ESP, but sitting again when he realizes I'm not getting down. By this point, I'm nearly full grown. It's been almost an hour of this ridiculous game. What happened next? Well, I survived. That's all that really matters. Whether he got banned or whether he just backed off like the skill issue goober he is, we'll never know. But my Tenno is very much alive, and that's all that really matters to me.